That baby has fallen over so many times. Like literally rolled round on its head. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So the last time you saw me was a bit of a training video, a bit of an update, and I thought I'd bring you to one of my little spots today. It is rest day today, and this is sort of just like a let's have a story time. Let's talk about 2020 and sort of really get into the nitty-gritty of what the heck this year has been about, and kind of what's happened, like start of the year up until now. You know, plans have changed, the world has changed. It's been absolutely mad. Like, you couldn't write it. You literally couldn't write it. So as many of you know, I competed at the Arnold's in March, so that's about 6 months ago now, 7 months ago, which is crazy. It's like, feel like this is the longest break I've had away from like continually competing. So even sort of looking back at the Arnold's, it was very up and down. It was like 3 days out when it was like, you know, convention is cancelled, and there was speculation whether the show was going to be cancelled, and it was one of those things where, you know, grinded so hard for the Arnold's, and it was the first time that I've ever been in a position where something could so easily be taken away. Like, you're 3 days out, you're there. Is it going to happen? Is it not? And it was only the other day that I was like reflecting and looking back on my sort of photos and memories, and I remember doing a story on IG and sort of just saying, like, whatever happens, it doesn't matter if people are saying it's going to be cancelled, I'll still, you know, just sort of focus on that goal. And obviously we got on stage, came 8th at the Arnold's. Absolutely, I still to this day I'm like, oh my god, was that even real life? I was so stoked, so happy. And then 2 weeks later was Australia, and by this time, you know, COVID sort of was really sort of taking over the world. So I say it like COVID's like Godzilla or something, like taking over the world. But in all seriousness, yes, taking over the world with the pandemic that's been going on. But I still flew. I was able to fly. Like, things were still very like early days. They were still allowing travel. And then I got to Australia a week out, and then the morning after I'd arrived, it was then the show was called off. And I was staying with family in Australia, so I've got 2 aunties that live in Melbourne. So that was really nice. I was like, I'll just have a bit of family time, and I will just stay until my flight, which would have been a couple of days after the show. So I was like, stay until my flight, enjoy things, because over there everything seemed okay. Yes, there was restrictions, sporting events were cancelled, large gatherings were cancelled, but that was fine. But everything changed very, very quickly, and literally Melbourne was put into lockdown. And with that, my flights were cancelled. I couldn't book anything. And then when things were able to be booked, you were looking at upwards of like $6,000 to get home. So it was kind of like, as a family, we made the executive decision to just stay put for the moment and just wait and see what happens. And yeah, it got progressively worse. So I was out in Australia for a total of 9 weeks, and to say that it was tough, it was very tough. At the beginning, it was like, it was okay. Like, I accepted that the show was cancelled. I was grateful that I was able to get on one Arnold stage in this whole situation. And then like a couple of weeks went past, and I started to feel very lost. Like, the gym's shut everywhere. I didn't really have access to anything other than some bands. So we set up a workout, was doing that, but just like mentally I really started to struggle. And if you have been following me for a while, you might be new. You might be one of my new followers on Instagram and on my YouTube. So one of the reasons why I started bodybuilding was for my mental health. So I used to be a diver, and in 2016 I had a few mental health issues where I had depression and anxiety, and I had to sort of, you know, take a step back, which was really tough. really tough to do. Went through quite a dark period of time, and it was kind of, I used the gym as a way as therapy to start feeling better. And that's when I kind of got into competing, because I missed having the goal of working towards something without the pressure of, I could go into like my first prep, and if I made it to the stage, I did. If I didn't, I didn't. And there was no pressure. So that was kind of how my bodybuilding journey started. So with lockdown and sort of having the training aspect taken away, I really started to struggle. At first, like I said, it was a blast, like something new. It gave my body time to relax, and then it was a bit, okay, this is getting really tough. Oh, puppies! Sorry, dogs. There's dogs everywhere. Oh. Hello. So sorry guys, get easily distracted. One reason why I love coming to this park is because the amount of dogs that is here. That's one of the reasons. But sort of back into it with the whole training and lockdown and sort of mental health sort of state. It was, like I said, it was a bit of a catch-22, because it did kind of really help me reevaluate what was important to me and sort of focus on, you know, it's like so much girl. With the whole lockdown that happened, I was able to get home. I came back to the UK in May. It was May 18th, and I remember we sort of took a week of training to get over the jet lag. I say training with bands, and when I came back, my stepdad made me like a little gym setup just to my family know how much bodybuilding means to me. So we did what we could. I took a week of training, and then I remember I checked in, and at this point I was like, I think sometimes things happen that help us kind of get back in touch with reality, and I think everyone kind of has like a moment with whatever it is, sort of life, competing, business, you know, where it kind of forces you to level up and reevaluate. So I remember I checked in, it was the 23rd of May, and I remember looking back at my check-in, and I was just like, I felt so lost, and I was like, this is it's kind of, I didn't dwell on it too much because everybody was in exactly the same boat, you know. Everyone was in lockdown was over here as well. The whole world was in lockdown, so I wasn't sort of like a woe is me, this is it, but it was to me it was like, this is it, like this is either going to make me or break me. And I've had a lot of people ask me, especially through the prep that I'm on now, like what has been the biggest difference like between the beginning of the year and now. And honestly, it has been my mindset. I think from the 23rd of May, when I sort of saw the physique that I came back with and sort of the things that I'd kind of lost, I looked at myself and I didn't even recognise myself, and I was like, whoa, like we need to do something here. So it was one of those where I was like, okay, yeah, let's do what it takes, and this is I want this. I looked at myself and I was like, I don't even look like an athlete anymore. That's personally how I felt. Like, some of you guys might be like, oh God, really, you're just like saying that. But to me, I felt like I completely lost who I was. Like mentally, I was so low. I felt like, oh, am I going to try this year? Is there any point? And I think, like I said, that was the turning point for me. I either do or I don't. There is no try. Like whatever state the world is in, keep one thing consistent as I can. So after that check-in on the 23rd, we sort of set like a restart, and I think that whole restart was like a restart of my mindset as well, and time to really set new goals and mentally level up even more. And I think the team that I kind of have around me as well has really helped me to level up, and like the support networks as well, which I'm so grateful for. So during lockdown, I had access to a facility that I could train at, which I think without, I wouldn't be in this position that I am in now. So that was an absolute godsend, and I'm forever grateful. Forever forever grateful for that. So we kind of set up a new training split, and it was just like a go, just go. That's it. Like, no looking back. Every single session. I know I said it in my last video about, you know, every single session counts. Even like from that moment, that is where I kind of got that from. Not that before lockdown or any other prep I've kind of been like, oh, you know, I'll just half-ass through everything. But I think this whole pandemic has really taught me that nothing in life, I know this might sound a bit deep, but nothing in life is permanent. Everything is very temporary, and things can be taken away like this. I mean, if you sort of look at the pandemic, about how many people lost their lives and how quickly this whole thing has changed the world that it is now, like, we need to constantly be adapting and be able to understand that nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary, so you need to make sure that you make the most of every single thing that you do and that you have in this lifetime. So in terms of goals and going through this lockdown, I was like, it got to my birthday actually, June 20th, 10th, 27, found thousands of grey hairs, thanks. So it was around my birthday, and I was like, right, I'm really loving training. Everything is just, I'm feeling good at the moment, and my physique was starting to change from the 23rd of May up until my birthday, so it's like 6-ish weeks. And I was like, right, when it comes to competing, do I sit the rest of the year out because it's uncertain, or do I just do it? Do I just do it? Like, that has been my mentality as well. Just stop being afraid to do things. So I spoke with Corinne and was like, what do you think about maybe looking for something to do in October? And she was like, boom, that's like 15-16 weeks. Let's give it a try. And there was a lot of people that were like, you know, flights might be cancelled, show might be cancelled, there might be another lockdown. But as I said, everything is very temporary. Yes, things could change, but my love for the sport is still there. The passion is still there. Whether there is a stage there today, tomorrow, years to come, or no stage at all, I would still be doing exactly what I'm doing. I'd be eating, I'd be sleeping, I'd be training, everything would still be the same for me. The getting on the stage is the end goal, but whether it was in 16 weeks, 20 weeks, 6 months, a year, the process is always the same, and that's what I love. That's what I absolutely love about bodybuilding. I'd still be doing the same thing if the stage wasn't there. So currently now, touch wood, this big wooden table, we are 12 days out. So I'm really happy that I've sort of pushed and really enjoyed this prep as well, and carried on pushing despite, you know, things, closures maybe happening again and stuff like that. I've sort of just been optimistic, and again, if it is, I can't change that, but I haven't gone into it half-hearted either. Once I've committed to it, that is it, boom. And as I said, if there's a stage or not, I would be doing exactly the same thing. So touching on as well, sort of being able to just say yes to things in this pandemic, kind of that's been my takeaway of being just do it, is another thing with my business as well. For the longest time, I've had all these ideas of, you know, one aspect I love about competing is posing. I just think it's so beautiful, and you see so many people with I can't speak. You see so many people that compete and just have absolutely phenomenal physiques, and the way that they are able to show it off. Like, you look at Sid, for example, and she just moves through that stage like butter on warm toast. I love toast. And it was just one of those things that I love doing myself. Like, I love just getting in the studio, putting on some music and just sort of flowing through my individual presentation and my mandatories. And in lockdown, I was like, do you know, why don't I just bite the bullet and just push to help more people? And that again pushed me out my comfort zone, because I'm not one that's like, I struggle to kind of put myself out there. So that's another thing that I'm really trying to work on. But in terms of just saying yes to more things, starting YouTube again, you know, getting out my comfort zone again, because nothing in life is guaranteed. So bringing everything to a current, 2020 is not over just yet. As much as like a up and down year it has been, still try and finish it strong. Start the project that you've been sitting on for the longest time. Start a YouTube if you want to. Put more content out there. You know, carry on chasing the dreams. 2020 isn't done just yet. So with that being said, we are currently 12 days out, and this is when the fun begins. So the whole competition glow up starts. My bikini comes soon, so that'll probably be a video for you guys, a bikini reveal. So tomorrow I'm getting my lashes done, which is going to be an experience, and then next week I get my extensions done. And then literally on Thursday the 8th is when I fly to Spain. So I'm super excited. And I can't believe like time has literally flown. And I think that has also been one thing that's really been able to keep me positive and focused, and not so stressed about the external situations happening with the world. Because I think that was one of my main anxieties and stresses during lockdown and stuff, was just like the whole uncertainty of everything, and like everything that was happening. And it's been a very, very scary situation for everybody, and I think I was getting really, really caught up in it, to the point where I was like really, really scaring myself. But kind of having a prep, am I okay? Having a prep to focus on, and you know, having daily tasks to focus on. And now we're looking from 16 weeks to 12 days out, and we're nearly in single digits. So I'm super, super excited. And also today, the Instagram bodybuilding.uk showed the list of the UK athletes that are going to Spain, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm really excited to take you on this journey to the Europa Pro. I'm going to be bringing my little handheld camera and try and get some vlogging content for you guys as well, just like a different perspective as well. But yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you for watching this. Give it a like, subscribe, and yeah, can't wait to see you all. And do not ever give up.